You know that old saying, hard work is the key to wealth? We've all heard it a million times. But what if that's only half the story? Today, we're going to explore a completely different way of looking at things, an idea that says the real source of prosperity isn't just about what you do, but about who you are on the inside. I mean, this quote really gets right to the point. We've been told our whole lives that this is the formula, but what we're digging into today makes a really bold claim. It says this idea is a half-truth, which, if you think about it, also makes it a half-illusion. It's not saying hard work doesn't matter, not at all. It's just saying that by itself it's incomplete. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If grinding away isn't the whole picture, then what's the missing piece? What's that secret ingredient that actually turns all that effort into real, lasting abundance? Well, let's find out. Okay, so let's really get into this first part. We're going to break down this whole concept of just undirected, or you could say blind, hard work. Why isn't it always enough to get you where you want to go? This analogy is just so perfect. Picture a sailor, right? Rowing with every ounce of strength they have, sweating, muscles burning. They are definitely working hard. But if they don't have a compass, if they have no idea where they're going, they're just splashing around in the middle of the ocean. They'll end up exhausted and completely lost, not successful. That's exactly what effort without awareness looks like. And you can see the difference so clearly here. Look at the nature of it. Blind labor is just your body going through the motions, but conscious work, that comes from your mind's awareness. And that changes the entire experience from this draining uphill battle into a form of creative expression. So what's the result? Well, one path leads to burnout and just staying stuck, while the other actually creates more energy and leads to real growth. So let's build on that, because the difference isn't just about the final outcome. It's about how you experience the work itself, moment to moment. Is it just a heavy burden you have to carry, or could it actually be a form of art? This really shows the two different worlds people can live in. The ordinary person often works because they feel like they have to. It's a compulsion. So work feels like a burden, and their mind is filled with complaints. But then you have the extraordinary person. For them, the motivation is totally different. It's joy. Work isn't a chore, it's just their way of life. And because of that, they find energy in it. They get into that state of flow instead of feeling drained. And this is the real game changer. Your internal state, your mindset, can literally transform any task. The moment you find real joy and presence in what you're doing, it stops feeling like work. It actually becomes a form of meditation, something that centers you and gives you energy instead of taking it away. Okay, now let's take this same idea and apply it to money itself. We're so used to thinking of wealth as a static thing, right? Coins, paper, a number on a screen. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? According to this way of thinking, wealth isn't some solid object you can just hoard and pile up. It's more like a current, like the wind or a river. It's a dynamic energy that has to stay in motion. You know how stagnant water gets gross and unhealthy? Well, the idea is that stagnant wealth loses its power too. It needs to flow. And keeping that energy moving is like a two-step dance. First, there's the joy of giving. The energy flows outward when you create things and share them, not because you feel obligated, but because it brings you joy. Then there's the gratitude of receiving. The energy flows back inward when you accept what comes to you with genuine thanks. It's a full circle, a complete circuit. And here's the crucial difference. When you hold on to money tightly because you're afraid you won't have enough, you're basically building a dam. You stop the flow. But when you see wealth as a tool for more creation, for bringing more joy into the world, you're not just spending it, you're putting it back into that universal flow, which then actually multiplies and comes back to you. So all of this brings us to the real secret, the heart of this entire idea. The half-truth was hard work. The whole truth is that the source of all the wealth on the outside is actually your state of consciousness on the inside. Let's talk about the scarcity mindset. We all know these thoughts, right? This little voice inside that says, I don't have enough, or it's so much easier for other people. When your inner world is running on these feelings of lack and struggle, you are literally sending out an energy of not enough. And that mindset becomes a repellent, pushing away the very things you want. Now let's flip that. Look at the abundance mindset. This way of being is built on a deep feeling of worthiness, of gratitude for what you already have, and a trust in the flow of life. When you genuinely feel that you are deserving and that opportunities are all around you, you create this attractive energy. You become a magnet for prosperity because you're now in alignment with it. And this part is so, so important. You can't just say positive things out loud while on the inside you're feeling anxious and broke. It doesn't work that way. The universe, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your energy, your deep down beliefs. It's the feeling, the vibration behind the words that actually shapes your reality. So, if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. The constant hustle, the external chase, that's not the real work. The real work is on the inside. It's cultivating a consciousness of joy, gratitude, and abundance. When you get that part right, the amazing thing is, the external world starts to magically rearrange itself to match. And that brings us to one last question, just for you. Take a second and just check in with yourself. Right now, in this moment, what is your consciousness telling you? Is it operating from a place of scarcity or a place of abundance? Because whatever it's telling you, that's the world it's busy creating for you tomorrow.